what's up? It's your boy Chanda Mbao, and we're back with another episode of Zambian Hip-Hop History. Today we have a true pioneer, a queen of the game. I'm very, very happy to say it's nothing but my absolute pleasure to be sitting down today with the queen, the Mfumukazi, Bombshell. What's up?
Hey, what's up?
I'm good. How you doing?
I love that introduction.
Yo,
I'm good. How you doing?
I had to put some kuwika po muchishi.
Hey, put some respect for this. That's true.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for showing up, for being here on the show today.
No doubt. There's definitely no way I was gonna miss this out. I mean, when you told me about it, I was so excited about it. So I feel good to be here.
No, thank you very much. No, as you know, on this show, we like to discuss Zambian hip-hop history and try and I think it's about, I guess, documenting and archiving things that have gone down in the game and more importantly, celebrating some of the Zambian hip-hop pioneers because, I know, I've experienced maybe to a lesser degree, but also, have some experiences. Hip-hop hasn't always been an accepted genre in Zambia, so it's been a journey,
It has.
and a lot of people have had to push to get it to where it is today.
100.
So, talking about your journey, how did things kick off? When did you first fall in love with hip-hop?
Well, every time I'm asked this question, I always say, I think I fell in love with hip-hop in my mother's womb.
Oh, wow.
As a fetus.
Okay, that's deep.
Because one time I asked her, I said, did you like to listen to hip-hop when you were pregnant? And she's like, yes, I'll dance to hip-hop all the time.
Really?
So I'm like, you know what?
That's
I think
crazy.
this all begun while I was inside there. Okay, from how, me remembering, it was, I think I was about 4 years old.
Wow.
I mean, I always hanged out with my uncles and they were hip-hop heads, the Randy MCs, the DMXs, all these people from back in the day, the MC Lights.
Yeah. Okay.
My uncle would make me wear dungarees, 1X ring.
Dabrat.
Like a dabrat look. Like every time when I pose, he'd be like, no, don't stand like that. You gotta stand like this.
That's so funny.
Oh no, stand like that. All the time. Like I have pictures of myself standing like that, wearing one ring, earring and stuff like that, and it had an X on it. So it's my uncles really, and I grew up around them, and that just made me love hip hop. So that's around 4 years old.
Wow, that's
growing
crazy.
up, it was just hip hop all my life. You know what I mean?
What was the first record that you're like, nah, this is my jam, that you learned by heart?
Trust me, don't know it.
Okay, no, it's no pressure.
It was the LL Cool J song.
Yeah, okay.
Doing it right.
Okay. Oh, wow, that's heavy.
I mean, I could hear the other, but that one, I don't know. It just stuck in my head.
No, I mean, I think for a lot of us that fell in love with hip hop as kids, you think back and you're like, man, I shouldn't have, I shouldn't have been known about that.
Yes. But that's the one that I think I remember very well.
Okay. No, very interesting. And so when did that passion for you're hanging out with your uncles, you're they're making you pose, they're making you wear dungarees.
Maybe dungarees, the baggy jeans, sneakers. I would have two ponies in my head if it's not the cornrows, which I still do till today.
Awesome.
That was me, or the big hair. So growing up, it was just I just want to be a rapper because I found it so gangster and cool, and that's why I love gangster. It's not about the guns, and that's why people get it twisted. It's not just about the guns. It's the poetry. It's the word in the rap. How it talks to you, how it makes you feel, the whole aliveness that it gives me. So, yeah.
Oh no, that's super dope. So when did that passion, you were I guess a student of the culture. When did that become I'm going to start writing rhymes?
I think
you know what I'm saying?
When I was 12.
Okay.
My uncles would always be around me, they'll be writing their own stuff. So I'm like, okay, let me try as well. Then I would write it and I would just sound so dumb. And then my uncle's like, you know what, let me write you something. Then he wrote me something and he's like, rap this, and I rapped it. And it sounded so cool. You sound so cool. I just wish we had, stuff recorded from back in the day that we just played out. We hear Beyonce's and then they have, they'll play their baby voices. And they're we didn't do that.
Yeah, that'd be lit.
We had the tapes,
That'd be lit. You don't have the tapes?
I don't. I wish I did.
That'd be lit. I
wish I did. Because I can see that vividly in my head, having to write my own stuff, and then my uncle did something. And then he wrote something and he's like, okay, so now the parts that you don't like, you're going to change some stuff. And I changed it. That was around 12, 8 there. Then I was like, I want to do this. I just want to do this. Yeah.
So that passion, so that's the writing experience.
Yeah.
when did that first turn into some sort of commercial experience with the game for you? Like either dropping something official, doing something that was like in the game.
Like not the first time I actually went in studio.
Oh, yeah,
There's
exactly.
a magazine called Trendsetters.
Yeah.
There's actually people who've actually, they've spoken to me about it. Like I see in my comments like, I loved you since Trendsetters. I'm like,
wow,
these are people who've been following me from back in the day.
That is deep.
Trendsetters is cheap. I think the first time I ever got in studio was with Crisis.
Oh, wow.
He had a group called Diamond J. And they made me their first lady. It's just like I never really did it.
Wait,
know?
I never knew that you were part of the Diamond J movement. This is when I learned that. That's crazy.
And my very, very good best friend, Stephanie, is one that told me, dude, you love music.
Yeah.
Let's just do music. Get into the studio.
Yeah.
She took me to Crisis. He had like a studio in Woodlands.
Okay.
And that's where I went and they put me on. And I remember we had a first performance in Woodlands somewhere, but I don't know, it just didn't work out. But yeah. I was on Diamond Chanda.
Okay. So that was like the first official studio.
That was my first.
Okay.
Then afterwards, Brio called me. Then he got me on we went on this Get Money All Over
the
again.
remix, right?
The remix,
Man.
I was on my DMX tip. We had Cleo on. We had Nice Kicks. That song made like rounds.
It did. No, it did. You've actually just like jogged my memory.
Now you're just remembering, yeah?
Yeah.
And then
crazy.
afterwards, I went with Bulo Man. I did another song called Bad, Yeah, Bad. That was also another song that took rounds.
That's dope.
Yeah, that was me, just, getting there, and then obviously there's a point. But my first, anyway, was with Crisis.
Okay.
That was my first time in studio.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I guess that like what I'm curious about is because we've gone from the first dalliances with hip hop, the chilling with the uncles and kind of all that, writing the first raps, and now that's the first studio and the first kind of So what would I guess during this time you're probably discovering yourself, discovering your voice, right? What would you say? I assume that some of that maybe carries through to today. Is that voice, the voice of Bombshell, and what you would say you maybe stand for musically, or some common themes or motifs that you're like, this is what Bombshell's about, and that's what encapsulates this journey. What would you say that is?
I think it's about being different, keeping it explosive and just being like hardcore. Like whatever I do, I put in my all. I mean, I remember one time when they would like make fun of my voice, like, oh, she sounds too gangster. And then I went into studio one time, and I'm not gonna mention names, but this guy was like, no, I think you need to sound a little bit soft. I'm like, I don't wanna sound soft. I've always known hardcore rappers, and for me, that's what I stand for. Hardcoreness. Punch. I mean, when you're on the mic, you need to give it that punch. You sound the same way, man. When I hear your voice, it's just like, that's right.
Funny. That's funny.
You see, you got the same deep voice. Nobody's gonna tell you, hey man, can you start sounding smooth? No, man. Smooth for what? So it's hardcoreness. I mean, my name is Bombshell. I need to give that kick. Every time I'm on the mic, I drop a verse. It just really has to hit you. Everyone needs to know. Even when I introduce myself, I'm like, they're like, oh snap, she's coming in. Oh no, she sounds like a man. Whatever, man. I sound like a man. That's all good. I love my deep voice.
No, it's a vibe. No, it's a vibe. Definitely.
So for me, it's always been just hardcore rap. And I think again, it goes back to being with the guys, because you guys are all about being strong, being hard. So every time I get on the mic, it's always ringing in my head like, punch it, give it your all, let it come from the depth of your soul. Yeah,
it's funny because they talk about that in music. They say like there's I think head voice, throat voice.
Yes, there's
tummy, the one that comes from your tummy. That one.
That's the same one. Let it come just from the bottom of your tummy.
I feel you on that. I feel you. And that's that always reminds me of Tupac, because Tupac
had that depth in his voice. So like when he speaks, you'd listen. It's the same with DMX as well, I think. So
no, that's super dope. That's super dope. So when was the first like official then single for just Bombshell? Because you talked about working with Bulu Man, I
worked with quite a number of people. My official
like your like debut on the scene commercially. What would you when would you say that was?
There's a song I did. I remixed Juju Lava because I loved
Daddy Zemas, rest in peace.
I remixed Juju Lava. That was my first ever single. But obviously I don't think it made like much rounds. I think there's certain people that know it that come from back in the day.
No, the first is the first though.
But that was my first. Ever.
And I guess when you look back at your catalog, are there any like favorites where you're like, nah, when I dropped that,
There's this song I did with Sebastian Dutch and Vincent Pencil, that's James Sakala, Vincent Pencil, called Dona. It was actually a house beat again.
Okay.
So Fukunyuka was in my first.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a house beat. It was titled Dona. I think even till today it was slap.
That's a fave, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I always like to get into somebody's mind about what those moments.
Yeah. Like when I'm thinking about it now, I'm like, damn.
That was a jam.
Yeah.
No, I feel you. That makes a lot of sense. And so I guess going back to the journey, I think one of the important aspects of obviously discussing hip hop is I love to put it in context of the game, and how would you say for you, especially as a woman, I guess then maybe a girl, I guess. I don't know. We're not going to put specific years on it.
It's okay.
But what was the journey like coming up in a genre that was partially maybe overlooked and obviously being probably one of the few, women in the game?
It was intense. It's never been easy, man. People look at you and they see you where you are today and they think it was just this journey that you just got into. It was just so smooth, It was never smooth. First and foremost, it was with the family. Family will always look at you and think, damn, what are you trying to do? That's how it is. Hey, Zambia. And that's how eventually I had to get off and go to university.
Yeah,
and that's when I went off for a while, And now coming back again was like starting up. And again, still families asking you, why
what are you doing? Yeah, why are you?
Why music? But this is something I felt from the time I was a kid. I didn't even see it on TV as much, but just being around these people that infused it into me, it just made sense, and that's where my soul lies. That's where I feel alive when I do this. It makes me feel alive. And again, being a rapper, you're always looked at as a lot of things. They'll think you do drugs. They'll think you're crazy. They'll think you sleep around. They think it's just all about crazy stuff, all dirty stuff. So you'll be judged, and I faced a lot of that judgment. They'll be like, obviously, her song is playing on radio because she screwed this DJ. Or no, she did this type of gig because she screwed this person. Or no, she's sleeping with this person. There's always that. There's no way a rapper can be clean. Rappers are dirty and all that kind of stuff. So there's always that outlook that they give you, that they look at you as being when you're actually not that person. You know what I mean? And that's something I've had to face. And also there's also the part of having people bring you down, the people that will diss you, people that will not appreciate what you do. There's all those aspects, like being in the industry. And again, having the fact that hip hop has been something that has had to grow from just like a grain of sand to where it is to today. It was hard, it was really hard. And it just got harder at some point, and you feel like giving up, but you're just there like, I'm a rapper, I'm hardcore.
I gotta push through, right?
I keep pushing. So there's just all those things that I had to go through growing up in being a female rapper.
MC,
but I'm here today.
A part of, the inspiration or the reason for this show is obviously for those who will come after, So, to the extent that you're able and willing to, talk about some of those aspects, are there any specific challenges that you felt you had to conquer coming up in the game as a young MC and maybe as a young woman that you're like, man, that was tough, but I got through and I learned some valuable lesson that maybe some young person out there will be like, damn, Okay,
whether we like it or not, the truth is it's a male-dominated world. And as a woman, it's like we always have to prove ourselves in whatever we do. But luckily now, I feel like things are starting to change a little bit. So that's always something that I always had to face. I had to prove myself all the damn time. Even when I drop a song, for me, I'll feel it. But you find it goes into the streets, and maybe you drop a song the same day as another male artist, and their song just hits the streets like crazy. Yours is not even playing at all. And you're asking yourself, why? How come this is not playing? And then you go back home and they're telling you, see, this is what we're telling you. And you have no shows, nobody's getting you. You get to do a lot of free stuff just to have yourself
out there,
out there, you know what I mean? And at the same time, you're being pressured. You don't have finances, because probably your family doesn't believe in that stuff to actually finance you for that. So they're like, you have to prove yourself all the time. So it's always been about proving yourself.
That's a lot of stress,
proving
yourself in the game, proving yourself at home, proving yourself.
Prove yourself. Girl, prove yourself.
It's like, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. No, but it's an important aspect of the journey that I think
it's a very important aspect, and also what's the most important is putting God first and believing in yourself. Because nobody else is gonna believe in yourself, in you as much as you believe in yourself. So if you believe in yourself, even somebody out there is saying, "Oh, your music sounds like trash." If you feel your music is not trash, keep pushing, my nigga. Like one day somebody is gonna listen to that trash that they call trash.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's a very important aspect. And speaking to that, and I kind of think in the same vein, and maybe the silver lining to the cloud is, do you remember any moment where you feel like, man, that's a breakthrough? Like, I've been going through the cycle of proving, finally. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Was there a moment where it's like, yo?
Wow. I remember there's a time I went crazy. I started working with J Rocks, and damn, he's a brilliant mind. Like he's so talented. And I did The Berg.
Yeah, actually, really. That was dope.
I featured him.
That was lit.
And my brain is crazy. Like it's a circus. Like I'm always thinking stuff. Like what can I do to just have people listen to the song? I put up billboards again. That's cash.
Yeah, that was
just give me back cash.
That was lit.
I'll put up billboards. I wore this dress. My
yes.
chest was out, because it's all about the shells. That's the bombshell. The shells. It's the cleavage.
Oh, I didn't even know. That's where the shells comes from?
Yeah, the shells.
I did not know that.
Yes, the cleavage.
I did not know. Now I know.
Now you know. So it's the shells.
Yeah.
They were there, and geez, that had everybody talking.
I know, you killed that. And you had a plane in the video. I think you might be the first person I know, at least that I saw, with like a PJ in the video.
And I had my little nephew with me there. He was so cool. He went with him. My sister's always been there from day one, man. Yeah. Even though they didn't like it, I would tell them, you gotta be in this whether you like it or not. And we did that. And it came out, and yes, there was the drama. People still roast you. And I still felt good.
Was lit.
And for me, that was
lit. It was lit.
This is it.
It was lit. It was lit. No, I'm glad that's because when I was seeing, I was like, this is fire. I was all about it.
Were you actually around then though?
What year was that? I think I was. That must be
2014.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So I think
2014.
Yeah. So I remember that. It was probably one of the early records that when I was reacquainted with that music scene.
I see.
That I got familiar with.
Man, I went all out for that one.
No, that was really dope. So I guess speaking of that, because that's kind of like, that's a breakthrough moment,
Yeah.
I guess maybe going one step further, regardless of breakthrough and outside of like that thematic, but are there any, in general, it doesn't necessarily have to be a bombshell moment, it could have been something you were there for, but a more general kind of hip-hop memory that you're like, man, that was just lit for Zambian hip-hop, either at large, it could be for you, it could be just something where you're like, man, like
it's the same bad I can't finish off the title.
Yeah, Bad B's or
Bad M.
Bad M.
Bad MF.
Oh, Bad MF. Okay.
That was the title.
Okay. Yeah.
That also I felt it. Like there was 5-4 Need, Bullman, Kapuka, and I was the only female rapper on that. I was like, wow. And it went all out. It's just a bit sad we didn't do a video, but it would have been nice to do a video.
Yeah.
I can imagine how it was gonna look.
That would have been lit.
Yeah. So I think that was
a big memory for you, huh? Okay. No, that's dope. Bad MFs.
Yeah, bad MF. I'm a bad MF.
That's really dope. That's really dope. And so I guess as an artist who, we experience in kind of a multifaceted way, in the sense that you have a very strong brand, a very strong presence, what has that aspect of your personal journey been like in terms of, I guess, diversifying Bombshell's image and being in the game in more ways than just being an MC? What has that been like for you? Again, I'm thinking about this very much in the context of a young person learning about what people have done, and what I'm saying. Yeah. So what's that been like for you? Because we see you on billboards, we see you on whatever. So what's that like for you?
I've been asked before, how has it been? Like again, I say it's always been about proving yourself.
Yeah.
I had a dream, Martin Luther King. I'm just. Oh well, I had a dream. I always felt like, one day I'd want to see myself doing this. One day I'd want to see myself on TV. One day I'd want to see myself on a magazine, on a billboard, on whatever. And when you're thinking all those things, it feels like it's something that can never happen, because you're thinking, and maybe you tell somebody and they laugh at you like, TV, whatever.
Yeah, that's fun.
But okay, I don't know. Me growing up, every time my family members would say that you are a little TV person, because even when I'd go to parties, like I'd always just be there, show stopping myself. Like I'll be there, I'll do something, I'll probably start dancing. Everyone will have their attention on me. So that I've always had in me, and I've never had that shyness of having a lot of people watch me. But the whole moving forward and having to switch, starting from a little girl, probably also changing my appearance. There's a certain way I love to look at a certain point.
Yeah.
But I'm one person who believes the more you move, the more lessons you learn. Gotta also kind of appear with how you look, you know? Because I can't be talking about, nah, you gotta dress like this, and I'm dressed the whole opposite way.
Can't be talking about bad MFs.
Bad MFs. Yeah. So you see, when I was
and not be a bad MF.
Also another. So it's been good. Yeah. And like always, like I said before, it's not always been rosy or smooth.
Yeah, of course.
There's been the ups and downs. Yeah. There's been the changes. And funny enough, I just automatically change. No, it's not something that I think about and sit and
you
say,
force,
let me start looking like
it's natural evolution.
Yeah, it's just evolution. It's just happened. My music is not the same like it was before. It's also just been switching.
Natural evolution.
You know what I mean? Naturally. Yeah.
So even from a business perspective, it's natural evolution.
Like I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a model. I want to be an activist. Yeah. I love whatever I decide to do. I want to love it. I just want to do it just to please people. You know what I mean? And that's why people get it twisted, because they feel. And yes, I know. Also, there's a lot of celebrities who do things just for
yeah.
I do things to just feel great.
Yeah.
Like, okay, what I'm doing now is amazing. I love it. Like, especially when I went into doing being an activist. Yeah. Whatever I did just felt there's this sense of fulfillment that you feel that I don't even think money can make me feel that good. Yeah. So yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
That's lit. That is lit. That's lit. And I guess again, and as we head to the end of the episode, one important thing that I wanted to ask is how you would speak to a younger Bombshell, or you could speak to somebody else if that's better for you out there that's young, and tell them or teach them one lesson, one really valuable lesson from the journey, and say, yo, if I were you, I would consider this.
Okay. First and foremost, I would tell them to stand as one when it comes to women, because I feel like I'm all about women. Yeah. I'm about unity. Yeah. I'm about queenship. Yeah. Even when I call myself Fumukazi Bom, I don't mean I'm calling only me. I want whoever it is out there, if your name is Mutinta, I want to say Fumukazi Mutinta, Fumukazi Angela, Fumukazi Wezi. Yeah. It's not just about me. I want somebody to watch me and say, snap, the way Bombshell carries herself, and she believes she's a fool, she's a queen. I'm also a queen. Because women, we need to see ourselves as one. We need to help each other rise up. You know, we carry so much power within us. We give life. I mean, come on. All of us here. We're here because of women. Not that I'm trying to feel that. I'm not trying to be a whole woman.
No, it's true.
It's just truth.
It's true. It's true.
If us women could believe in one another and just lift each other up, the world would be more powerful, I believe. You know what I mean? So any little girl there growing up, believe in you for starters. Every girl around you is a queen. She's a princess. We need to lift each other up. We need to believe that we're queens. It doesn't mean you have to come from royalty for you to
be a queen.
You know what I mean? Already the fact that you carry God's, he created you. He's the king of all kings. So you are royalty 100% automatically. Believe in yourself, put God first, let nobody put you down. It doesn't matter where you're from, whether you're in the suburbs, you're in the ghetto, you're in the village. You are a queen, and one day you shall rise if you believe in yourself. That's it.
That's a really dope lesson. Dope lesson. And so maybe as on a final departing note, what I'd like to maybe talk about and hear from you is, what is the game plan for this big album that's coming? Let's talk a bit about the future. We talk about history. You want to talk a little bit about Mfumukazi? Do you want to say anything, or you want to just let us peep?
I'm about keeping it explosive, so I wouldn't want to break that. I want to just blow people's minds. Let's go by the name Bombshell. It's a bombshell. It's planted just somewhere. It could be right here, and you just step on it and it explodes. So I want to explode in people's faces. So that one's just going to be.
It's like a.
It's like a young. Yeah.
Okay, no, that's super dope. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've been tuned in to another episode of Zambian Hip-Hop History. It was a pleasure to sit down today with Mfumukazi Bombshell. Bombshell, the grenade people call her.
They gave me that surname.
I love it. But it's been awesome having you guys. Stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more on Zambian Hip-Hop History. Peace.